Good evening to you all. My name is Mwansa. I'm an artist from Zambia, and I'm a member of the Zambia National Visual Arts Council, VAC in short. Additional to that, I lecture at Evelyn On College as a part-time lecturer in the art and design. In this presentation, I'm going to talk about the art in Zambia. Art in Zambia is very diverse. It ranges from craft work or handicraft. This type of artwork is done by traditional or local people from all parts of the country. That is, the country is divided in provinces, 10 provinces, and from all these provinces, you can experience or see different kinds of traditional art. That's the art I've referred to here as traditional art. Now, additionally to that, there is also contemporary art. Contemporary art in most cases is done by people who have been exposed to the new ways of doing art. These could be people who have been to training schools where they have learned about the art at present, or people who have just taken it up upon themselves and learned this through other means like tuitions, workshops, and also the internet, which has a lot of information about art of the present. So we have people like that, and they have also progressed in that line. Myself, I could say I have an inclination to the art of the present, which is contemporary art. The type of art that I do is mainly drawing and painting. I work in a number of media, mostly oil paints, acrylic paint, and ballpoint pen. For my artwork, I draw a lot of inspiration from life around. That's to say, life as experienced and life as observed. Having said this, let me invite you to see some of my paintings. I'll do this through a slide presentation. Let's go and see the slides. Okay, there we are. We are now in the slightly show mode of the presentation. Here are some of the slides. As you can see, that's my name. And then this is the reason why I'm making this presentation. I'm making a presentation for the Zambia India art community, the artist community of the Zambia and Indian relationship. Now, this slide is about the statement. It's something that I've covered in my opening 'It speaks about me, who I am, the organization that I belong to or that I'm coming from. And also it talks about me, why I paint, and the type of artwork that I do. Dancing crowd. Now, this is one of the works which is done in a contemporary way of painting. It's a painting in acrylics, and the canvas is quite big, as you can see. Now, the idea behind this painting is to talk about the growing numbers of people. When we experience this, we should also know that later or soon, sooner or later, we are going to face some problems of looking after the people as a nation or as the world. This could be in terms of resources like food resources and also employment situations where you find that most of the people will find themselves not having employment because we are overpopulated. Now, that's something which is naturally comes in each and every country. So we can't say we can stop the population growth. The only thing we can do as human beings, or what I'm trying to encourage in this painting, is that let us start preparing for such kind of a population on earth and in a country like Zambia. Let us go to the next slide and see what it is all about. Children at play. Now, in this slide, you see children playing. The idea behind this, or the concept that I'm trying to put across, is that let the children play. Let them experience one another. Let them go out there and build relations as human beings. Now, this kind of relationship between one another has been depicted in this painting by children holding hands together, trying to feel each other as human beings and also trying to experience each other so that they can grow together. Now, the kind of play that they are trying to do or they are attending is the one which is known as iEARN or Sansakuba. It brings the children together. They feel happy together. They hold each other. They dance together, turn around and make things move. In a similar way, that's the way we should experience life as grown-ups, depending on one another and also working together, making things move like the children at play. Teach them to fish. Now, this one is something that has been said time and again. Before I come to my own explanation, let me also alert you that as you have seen from this slide, one of the things again that I do as an artist is to accompany some of the paintings with the poems or the writings. These writings are there to aid the viewer to see more through the painting and the written work. It's not there to prejudge what the viewer is going to see or to feel from the painting, but to assist the viewer see the painting and appreciate it more. Coming to this painting, I'm trying to talk about the way we should bring up our children as parents. Today, you find that a parent would know a skill and the children will not even be able to know a single thing about that skill which the parent does. And if that parent goes, maybe he dies, then that's the end. The children will not even know that their father was a fisherman or something, a carpenter, or whatever skill. They will not know that their parent had that skill. So I'm trying to emphasize here that let's teach the children how to do some of these skills that we can do us as parents. Let's not just give them what they want to help them grow as human beings, but let's also impart the knowledge of self-reliance in them so that as they grow up in future, they can be able to fish for themselves. Thus, teach a child to fish and not to give them a fish. Because if you give him a fish, he will not know how to fish. And if you can see from this poem, when you teach a skill to a child, be there to teach the skill with a lot of detail in it. Don't leave out some of the things, or else your child will be half-baked. That's the message which is contained in this painting. It is an oil painting on canvas. Ladders. Now, it's again another painting accompanied with a poem. In this painting, again, I'm looking at humanity. Sometimes the way we behave as human beings, we need people when we are climbing up on top. Thus maybe getting to a position of responsibility. And when we reach there, we forget about the people who helped us to climb up there. Now, in that case, it's just as good as you go up and you remove the ladder from below, which assisted you to get up there. A problem comes when that happens. There is a saying which says, whatever goes up must come down. So even as human beings, when we get up there, we should remember that one day we are going to come down and we will need the people who supported us to go up there, to be there again, to help us come down. So let's not forget about the people who help us to get up, to do something. Let's remember them and pay back in a way. Thus building humanity and togetherness. Mother and child. In this painting, I've used two motifs of a human being and the bird. Now, the bird cares very much about its young ones, the chicks. If you go there, no matter how gigantic you are going to be, the bird will try to fight you. It will scratch you, it will peck you, until maybe you leave the nest that's when it will stop doing all sorts of things to you. In a similar way, mothers are very protective to their children. There is that protection that they extend to the children, and hence the love that they build amongst themselves and their children. The child also responds back in a similar way if he or she is shown that love. So let us know that a mother should always be there for her child if the child has to grow up again as a good human being or a person who will fit in society very well. It starts with the mother because children spend a lot of time with mothers. Husband and wife. Again, this one is a continuation of family issues. Now, I'm trying to look at a woman again in the house or her home and her plight. A woman should be treated with respect and be brought at par with the man. In so doing, the man will not lose his manhood or the command as the head of the house, but the two will enjoy equality, not equality rather, they will enjoy humanity because it is that kind of thing which some people think about and become hostile to their partners. They think about equality and not humanity. No, the plight of a woman and that of a man should be of humanity, to look at each other or to treat each other as human beings. If you see in this picture, you will see the man walking behind a woman. But when you look at a woman, the woman is laden with a lot of things. She has something she's carrying on the head. She's carrying a baby. And she's also carrying something in her hand, which looks like a basket. Then above her, she's pregnant. She's expecting. But look at the man. The man is walking behind and just carrying his walking stick on the shoulder. That is not right. Let us exercise humanity, especially as the men in the homes. Now, don't litter. This is again one of the contemporary ways of making art. The artwork is made from litter, which was picked from the yard and then attached to a piece of wood, which is, to be particular, plywood. Now, this plywood and the material that is used on it is trying to capture the mind of Zambians to say that let's not throw litter anyhow, because some of the materials that we are throwing as litter are very difficult to decompose. They don't decompose easily. And by so doing, we can find that we have heaps and heaps of litter all over. that will disturb our ecosystem. We will not live very well in an environment like that. There will be disease, and death will also ensue. So it is some of these things that we are overlooking now as human beings, individuals in the country, and I would like to draw the attention of the people in Zambia to such a matter. The late President Mwansa once launched the cleaning campaign, and it has also been emulated by the current president, President Edgar Chagwalungu. He has also talked about the same, to keep the country clean. So it is just upon us as individuals to take part or to participate in this call. And as artists, let's make a lot of artworks of this nature so that we can open the mind of the people through the artworks as they question, as they say, what is this? Then we can be able to explain, to say this is about maintaining our ecosystem, and also it will help us in future to have a clean country. It will also help us to have an environment free of disease. It will also help us to create jobs if we can recycle and make useful things out of the litter. Again, it's the same thing. It's just to echo more on cleanliness and keeping the country clean, Zambia. Now, the paradox in this painting is that a lot of people or business companies to say, write on their packaging materials to say that let's keep Zambia clean. But they don't participate fully in that call. You find some of the shops or some of the companies which purport such messages or which print such messages on their packages don't come along to help in funding the cleaning campaigns when they are called upon. And really, in this painting or collage work rather, I'm trying to ask all the companies, all the producers, those who are contributing to littering the country, to be also in the forefront of availing services that could help in cleaning up the country. Charcoal burners still on the ecosystem. Now, to them, it might be a way of earning a living, but this contributes a lot to deforestation. And if you look at the amount or the number of trees that they have cut just to build one kiln of charcoal, you will see that a lot of trees have been cut. Such kind of activities bring about deforestation. And when we talk about deforestation, we are coming back to the same thing of destroying nature. The ecosystem is being destroyed. when we destroy the ecosystem, then we have experiences like what we are seeing nowadays. The much talked about global warming is a result of such activities. There are not enough trees on Earth to regulate the temperatures and also to assist in the formation of rain. So we have such things like global warming, which are very difficult to fight and which are a danger again to humanity. So I'm trying to talk about this through my drawing and hence try to tell people to come to their senses and maybe find other ways of finding materials that can be used for cooking and warming up the homes rather than cutting trees in this manner, or to say in a senseless way. So that's what this drawing is all about. Zambia is also filled up with traditions, like I earlier spoke about the different regions which practice making handicrafts or craft work. So there is also tradition from each area and from each tribe of Zambia. Zambia is a rich nation endowed with about 73 tribes or over, and each tribe has its own tradition. So in this drawing, I've depicted one of the areas in Zambia known as the Northwestern Province. The Northwestern Province has a culture of training the young ones, the boys and the girls as well. For these age groups, the area or the region conducts teachings of manhood and teachings of womanhood. They conduct these kind of teachings during certain periods of the year, and the young ones come out of age. For the men, these are tundanji. They call them tundanji. The young boys are separated for a period of time. They are taken to a camp where male circumcision takes place. And when they come out of that, they celebrate their entry into manhood. And in this painting, you see them dancing around with the chikuza, a Makish dancer, who is one of their mentors at the Mukanda ceremony. Traditional pots, I spoke about the crafts in my opening remarks. Traditional pots are very important in the Zambian society. They are used for cooking, they are also used for collecting water, and they are also used for storage. Now, this important art is slowly dying out, and it made me come to my senses, and it dawned upon me to have time to draw the pots, to record them. This is another skill again, which is needed to be imparted on the young ones so that there can be continuity of making the pots, the same pots, or even improving upon them and make something much different and more attractive than they are today. But if you can see, even today, these pots are very attractive and they are made very symmetrical, as if the potter was using a potter's wheel. But normally traditional potters don't use wheels. They only use hands to do this kind of work. So it is a very skillful work. And you can see the designs on them. They are also very attractive, very beautiful, and very skillfully done. In fact, some of these designs have meaning attached to them. But for now, I'm not going to go into that because that is another area again which may need a presentation just like this to talk about the designs on the traditional art and crafts of Zambia. So I think so. That's all I had. Thank you very much. And I hope it was worth having me. Thank you very much. Let's end the presentation.